I'm a man.
Yeah.
I have a hair in my mustache. I have a beard. I go to the gym, 3-4 hours exercise I do. No problem with me. But practically, having a muscle or having a mustache, having a beard or having a bald has no relation with what is your sperm quality. In a patriarchal society where men are considered to be sacrosanct, they are pure, they are absolutely blemish free, they are perfect, and being a masculine or talking about the fertility of the person, it's considered like it's a shame to the family, the same to the society. I even asked the person that go for check of fertility. I'm a man. I have so many relationships. I know I can make the woman happy. Making women happy is not a fertility. The people who are not married, I think instead of having the kundli matching, we should have the fertility test done before the marriage, and at least once in the life, I think all men should be tested. Follow your dreams, stay curious, do what is good for the society, and with humble and humility, wherever it is needed, follow that principle and try to make the world a better place.
He has redefined what it means to represent India on a global stage with the poise of pageantry and the power of purpose. Today, I'm thrilled to be in conversation with a man who blends intellect with impact. He is an AI expert, a TEDx speaker, a 3 times published author, and the founder of Sperm Motile, a startup that's breaking taboos around men's health and masculinity. I mean, how many hats does a man need to wear? From IIT Dhanbad to NTU Singapore to UIT Norway, he has inspired thousands across continents, not just through his credentials, but his courage to start bold conversations. Joining me today is the incredible Professor Dilip Prasad, who is the living testament of the fact that vulnerability and brilliance can coexist in the same sentence. Hi, Professor. Welcome to the podcast, and I'm really honored to have you here with us.
Thank you, Naprit, for inviting me to such an important event and important venue where we will be touching the topic which is often left unspoken and undiscussed.
So now, before we touch the topic, I want my audience to know who we are talking to. We know the introduction, the man who you've become, but we also want to know where you come from and how was your journey like, from a small town to global prominence.
So my journey began from a small slums in Kolkata, but my journey as a childhood was very happy memory. I don't remember a single time that I have left unfed. Often people think like you are in a slum, you might be not eating. My parents had made sure that I had milk every day. I had fruit almost 2-3 times in a week, and every type of whatever I wanted, I had it. But during those time, I had very good friends and neighborhood. I feel like the man I am, it is because everyone nurtured me. So it's like to raise a man, you need 1,000 people. So I am such man raised by 1,000 people around me. And over the journey, everywhere I have went, where I went to IIT Dhanbad, or I went to Singapore, I'm working in UIT Norway. I think I'm one of the most blessed and child of the God, that everyone I meet, they bless me, they help me, they support me, and I have never faced any hiccups and any challenges from anyone in my life.
Wow. Just to rewind, you said you would eat 3 times a week.
Yeah.
That's it.
Fruits.
Fruits. I was like, who could survive on 3 meals in a week? Wow, that's really, really good. So talking about masculinity, how did your family, your father and your grandfather, what was their idea of masculinity or being a man?
Just like, we live in a patriarchal society in India, and where mard ko dard nahi hota is the common theme. When you grow up, you don't need to cry, you need to be protector, you need to be giver, and you need to suffer in silence. And this suffering in silence is also causing pain to the other part of your life, like women, where men are suffering whatever problem they have, they're not speaking up, and the whole society expect the men not to speak up, go in silence, and that is a bigger challenge we are facing in at the moment in India.
There's this thing that sometimes what happens is a man does not express because he's conditioned not to be too vulnerable. Or is it just protecting yourself from vulnerability, or do men in general not want to be understood to that level? What is holding men back from talking about things that bother them?
It's a lot of thing about upbringing, like whenever a male child is a 3 and 4 years old, they have been told that don't cry like a girl. While women are been allowed to cry and then throw tantrum, men are supposed to be very strict and silent. So as a result, what is happening that society wise, we are being trained and tuned not to speak up. This kind of challenges are coming into the society because of our upbringing.
Back in your childhood days, were your parents or your father and grandfather encouraging you to speak up or not, as you expressed? And how is the scene changing now?
The society expect men to be strong. So strong is unfortunately considered as not speaking up and not telling your problem. You can see a lot of mental health. Men are suffering, but they are unable to speak up.
Yeah. Is it changing these days in Kolkata, Dhanbad, or Singapore, Norway? How do you see the difference across these different cities?
Like in Norway, the men and women are raised gender neutral. Like in the school education system, raised them gender neutral. I see there a lot of girl child are much more active. When I grew up as a child, we used to had a separate games, like this is a men's game and this is a women's game. But in the West, that is not how they are raised. They are raised gender neutral. But I see currently a new generation, age 16, 18, 20, like my nephew and niece, they are raised quite different than the way we have been raised. I think India is adopting more neutrality and more equality in education system. But we need to work a lot in this area because our mindset and the culture we go through, which has a history of 2000, 3000 years, it is going to take some time.
Wonderful. And now let's move on to our next topic, which is about your academic hustle. I really want to know, how does a man from the slums of Kolkata take up his next step to be a student of IIT Dhanbad? How did that happen?
So I grew in the slum. My parents or my mother never expected that I will study beyond primary. So they were hoping that I study primary, then I can count currency. My grandfather was selling potato and onion in the street of Kolkata. So I can actually hold that particular place
Part.
and sell the onion and potato. When I graduated from my school, then I went to a high school which was very competitive, one of the top 3 school in Kolkata. And there I faced the challenges. Means everyone is super smart. And since I come from slums, I had no idea that you need to give exams to become a doctor and engineer. So when I was in class 11 finishing, then I came to know that I have to give a joint entrance exam to qualify for engineering or medical seats. Fortunately, I qualified IIT exams and went to IIT to study computer science. And why did I choose computer science? I had no idea. So means that back in 1998, we have seen computer only at the railway station ticket counter. In fact, when I went to IIT Dhanbad, during the initial introduction time, a senior asked me, why did you choose computer science? And I was so naive. I answered that I have never seen a computer. And even now I think what answer I was giving. So the senior said, oh, you could have simply bought a computer and then why didn't you need to come here? So that was in IIT, and there I saw amazing talent. Everyone, they came from a much more humble background than me, like a student coming from forest, Sundarban forest, and student coming from a very rich like income tax commissioner. So we had a lot of diversity and I learned a lot from each one of them. So during the IIT, had just learned a lot of things. I studied less. I did much more extracurricular activities like playing sports, organizing event, even doing politics in the college.
Yeah.
But then I joined the company, and then after that, I wanted to study more, so I went to NTU, Singapore. Now, Singapore is totally different compared to what IIT, where you have 30, 40 students in a batch. Singapore, you hardly make friends, and everyone is running, competing. Is super competitive world. I was able to get selected for Kaufman Fellowship. In that, went to Harvard, MIT, and Stanford to study entrepreneurship. 6 months of training program, fully funded by Singapore government, and staying in a 5-star hotel. And that was my first 5-star hotel.
And that too for 6 months.
Yeah, that was 6 months. I was in a 5-star Marriott for 6 months, and going to Stanford, Harvard Business School, and MIT Business School. That was an amazing journey.
2 questions. But the very first question is, how are you able to manage funds from Kolkata to Dhanbad to Singapore for this journey?
Like in Bengal, the education is not expensive. It's more affordable. And IIT Dhanbad also, I was a scholarship holder. So I was getting my tuition fee back, and also a stipend, like 300 rupees was my stipend. It was not a lot, but still I was getting something from the government. And when I went to NTU, I was also getting the scholarship to do my PhD. So all throughout my journey, I don't think I have to pay money, but still the expense to study in IIT was high. So my father has to sell his lands in the village to fund my study, because my father's salary was 1200 rupees and my monthly IIT Dhanbad expense was 2200 rupees. So it was a tough time for 4 years.
Wow. I'm honestly quite touched with the kind of contribution your father has made, your mother has made. Because for me, it's hard to imagine how much they would have had to go through, or enjoy the journey of watching their son grow, and seeing their contribution being fulfilled. I must say, you must have very proud parents.
Yes, they have silently supported my all the education and everything without letting me know that what kind of financial pressure or other problems they are going through, which I came to know after the graduation, that my mother told me that what she has gone through. So I feel very privileged and well supported from my parents.
Yeah. I think once you have such parents, you're rich.
Yeah, true. I am anyway rich. Everyone I meet, like I'm meeting you, I feel like I am very blessed.
Rich with experiences.
Yes.
I see. Who were your role models, if I must say, in this entire span of journey, if you had to pick like 3 role models?
When I was studying, in the class 3 and 4, when we studied our leaders and scientists and other things. So one particular person really attracted me is Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. His amazing leadership quality, that going across the world and raising the army to liberate India. Other person I was very inspired from Swami Vivekananda. So my house was opposite to a Ramkishan Mission Mutt. So I have an influence from that particular place. A lot of my philosophy and morality and ethics came from there. So I have been touched by them. And apart from that, the third person I feel like is my father. I have never seen him raise his voice, and I have never seen my parents fighting with anyone, even in the slum area.
Wonderful. Great. You are a person who's been ambitious, who still is ambitious. How do you balance your ambition in this competitive world with purpose?
I came to know what I want in my life when I went to Harvard. That time I came to know that I'm not going after money. I really am not for money. I'm for something else. So that helped me further my career. Now I am more like a person who want other people to be seen, who want other people to grow, who want other people to be supportive. And that is also because I'm a professor in the university. So that is also my duty, job role. So that's how I go forward.
Now, our young audience is really interested to ask you this. You just mentioned that you have elevated to a level You're not allowing ambition to control you. But we today, sir, are very ambitious. All our Mr. India contestants are very ambitious. How do we manage or balance ambition with purpose? How do we not let ambition control us? That's very interesting. I want to know.
So ambition will come into the play. That is no problem. But instead of chasing title, so it's better to chase how you can enable people, how you can make people happy around you, or to be a man. It's better that if you show the courage when people need and have a humility to sit down and listen when it is needed.
Wow, that's very impressive. We've talked about your academic hustle, and now we shift to the new topic, which is the future of intelligence. What first drew you towards the concept of AI, and how is it going today for you?
So when I was studying my bachelor computer science, when I came to artificial intelligence, what it is. So it is about making machine think or do the task similar to humans, and that's how I got attracted to artificial intelligence, and later on I did my PhD in artificial intelligence. Now coming to the point that how this is changing. Currently we can say that we are in a decade of AI decade, where everyone is talking about artificial intelligence, and progress is happening rapidly. And I hope that AI become more useful for humanity, and obviously many routine tasks will be done by AI, but what it cannot do is empathy, emotional intelligence, our morality, our ethics. These things AI cannot learn. Means AI can predict a behavior, but these things are which makes us human. So it is going to be a very challenging and very interesting to see how we human evolve ourselves and make AI feel that we are the boss.
Let AI know who the boss is. Very nice. How do you believe a modern Indian man is handling the moral and ethical dilemma that comes with in the modern world of AI? As in, if I'm talking to an AI, I would say, what is the latest recipe for a good upma? Or how do I make parathas? Now, in my tone, they may not be a please or a thank you. And we're all getting used to not being polite to AI when we're talking. So, is it also reflecting back on us when we talk to each other? And how do we deal with it in this growing world of AI?
It is a very important question. I will say that we are not ready yet to handle the moral and ethical dilemma in the very fast changing AI world. And as human used to interact with a human, but now we are interacting with machine. And machine is a tool. It's not human. Whatever you say to him, he is not going to mind because he doesn't have emotions. Neither he is going to be sad, nor is going to be happy. It's just predicting a behavior which it has been programmed to do so. And that is going to impact the kind of behavior in our present society. Now AI can compose, it can write, it can interact with you. What we human will be more useful for. So human have a bigger human power, which is our emotions, which is ability to love, which is ability to show fear, which ability to show happiness. So being able to do all those things, I think, will help modern men become what we expect them, or what is needed for the better humanity or better future in the world.
Wow. Since you're a very well-versed man with the ways of the world, with AI, with human emotion, with ambition and everything, how do you see Mr. India as a platform, Mr. India as a title, Mr. India as a man? What is your take about it?
So Mr. India is a big title, and in a 1.4 billion population, I think a lot of men wants to be. The title is not only the title, it is quite a big responsibility, because it gives a platform and a face to you so that you can speak for other men. Whatever stigma, whatever silence the men are suffering, and which is again impacting the women in the society, the Mr. India title holders can speak for those stigma, can take their own social responsibility, because they are getting the voice being a Mr. India, and people are going to hear them. And that's why I'm in this platform to talk about a topic of male infertility, or what does it mean to be a masculine or men in the modern world.
You talk about a topic which is really under wraps because no man would like to discuss it with anybody, forget a woman, even their friends. The topic of fertility, infertility, or the need for improving in this particular aspect. What gives you the courage to not just speak about it, but to advocate it and to also be a pioneer in bringing about a change in this particular field?
I saw a couple of people suffering from the fertility issues. Actually, 50% of the infertility problem belongs to men. And the reason is that we associate masculinity with virality. And in a patriarchal society where men are considered to be sacrosanct, they are much more sacrosanct than like a god, even like more than a god.
What's sacrosanct?
They are pure, they are absolutely blemish free, they are perfect, and being a masculine or talking about the fertility of the person, it's considered like it's a shame to the family, to the shame to the society. And we grew up not to speak up. At least 99% of the problem is solvable if they go and talk to a fertility doctor. But before going to talk to a fertility doctor, we should talk about fertility. You know, whenever we say fertility, it become a big taboo words that, oh, something wrong with me. 1 or 2% out of 10 people have a fertility issue, and people are just hiding and suffering in the silence, and it is going back to the woman because we are not talking about it. So if we want to make the world a better place, we should talk about the fertility, and men fertility is equally important than the women fertility or fertility as a whole.
Absolutely. And I believe that is how your brand Sperm Motile came into existence. Please tell us a bit about when you started it and how many lives it has impacted so far.
I was working on a research topic for finding out some kind of enhancement in AI world, and then I came across my friend who was suffering from fertility couples, fertility issue like 18 cycle. Then I explored more. In my research, I needed some kind of sample, which I found that sperm could be a good sample, and that's how I come across that yeah, I can bring up a solution to help this male fertility issue where I'm not giving them any medicine, I'm not giving them any other thing. So whatever quality of sperm men have, from them getting a best quality sperm so that the success rate in the in vitro fertilization is more. So women do not have to go through many cycles. In fact, 1 or 2 cycles they can get benefited. We have a vision that in next 5 years, we will be impacting at least 5 million couples to have babies through our Sperm Motile device.
Wow. So basically, your AI device, Sperm Motile, it helps pick the right kind of, the most fertile sperms for the IVF.
Yes.
And it protects, it saves time, the 18-month cycle as you said, and it fast tracks the process.
So in IVF, women go through the multiple injections, and then after their mens, they go for around 10 days of injection, high hormonal injection to stimulate more eggs. Normally, women release 1 egg, but they are stimulated so much like 15 to 30 eggs to be released on the 10th day. So the eggs are extracted, and then men deposit the sperm, and after normal filtration, the specialist has to fish, putting 18-20 hours to get around 50 to 100 sperm so that they can fertilize eggs, 15 to 30 eggs they have extracted. Now this becomes subjective. What Sperm Motile does, that it makes it automated. The sperm selection become automated, and not only 100 sperm, we can select 300,000 sperms, best quality. Even the men have some 30-40 million sperm, and from that we can select the best of the best quality based on their shape, their motility, their morphology, and certain kind of patented pattern we have done in the Sperm Motile. So with this, it will not become subjective. The device can go into any clinics across the world, or even the rural area where the fertility experts are not available, and they still can enjoy the better fertility in the IVF. Success rate is better, and it will be more accessible to the society overall. That's what.
Wow. It is like one-stop shop for all your, most of your IVF problems.
Some of the problems. There are many more problems are there in the IVF treatment. We are handling male fertility problem where the men are not subjected to let's improve your lifestyle, let's improve your alcohol problem, let's improve your smoking. So whatever sperm quality they have, we are able to select the better quality from there.
Wonderful. Great. Now, when people come to you to visit you or to seek guidance, I'm sure you must have met many people who are in suffering, in pain, but I'm sure in the middle of all this, you must encounter some fun clients who would ask you crazy questions. So, any fun stories you'd like to share from your experience?
So, there are a lot of myths about men's fertility. So, one of the person coming for a fertility treatment, and I said, get yourself tested. I'm a man.
Yeah.
I have a hair in my mustache. I have a beard. Then there was another man. I go to the gym, 3-4 hours exercise I do. No problem with me. But practically, having a muscle or having a mustache, having a beard or having a bald has no relation with what is your sperm quality. A person can have a very good mustache, beard and lots of muscle and can still have the infertility issue. They have a poor sperm count and their sperm motility is not enough that they can naturally conceive. It makes me laugh to them that they say, no, test my wife. What? It's a together journey. Having a child is a together journey.
Right. I really appreciate and admire how openly and how proudly you talk about this topic and the need to bring about a change in this particular area. Why do you believe it is such a taboo generally outside this room? If we touch this topic, people might not be very interested. Why do you believe it's a taboo and how do we open more discussions around it?
It is a taboo because, men, masculinity and virility is the associated thing. And I'm in this kind of platform, like Mr. India platform, to talk about it because Mr. India representing the whole of India and also the world. So if we speak in this platform, then and Mr. India participants are speaking on such kind of topic, they will help other men open up,
And I believe while talking only, we kind of solve most of it. Addressing the problem is the first solution towards making it better.
Yes, like I have seen my friends who are now in mid-40s and they have a fertility problem. They had a late marriage and suffering from. I even asked the person that go for check of fertility. I'm a man. I have so many relationships. I know I can make the woman happy. Making woman happy is not a fertility. So we are suffering from so many myths, and when I insist him, let's go to a fertility clinic. No, we are not going to this nearby fertility clinic. We go to some 40-50 kilometers away where people will not know about me. So this taboo exists that men is perfect. We have to accept that we are human. We have imperfection. We can go to a fertility clinic and get treated and become better person.
Wow.
So that the other part of our life or other part of our family don't have to suffer for longer.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What are some universal values for a man that should never go out of style? Be it, let's say, going back 20 years or 40 years or now or even the coming generations. What are some key qualities of a man that should not be compromised in the name of whatever?
If I have to speak in a few words, so it's integrity, and then respect for people and responsibility for the society and having the courage for weaker people to protect them and speak up and have the humility when it is needed to sit down and listen. I think that will be never be going to be outdated no matter which generation or how many years later you ask the same question.
Wow. So a man with such values never goes out of style. These are some key points in our Mr. India contestants and winners as well, because over the years we've seen them come to this platform as the men they are, and once they're on the stage they represent India in glowing colors. They represent India with humility, with grace and with all the qualities that you've mentioned. So yes, as sir said, what toxic ideas about masculinity should we leave behind?
मर्द को दर्द नहीं होता. Men don't cry. We should leave behind.
Done. Perfect. What does being an Indian man mean to you?
So India is a land of culture. So being an Indian man, we should be rooted to the culture. So in one hand we have a culture, in the other hand we have the transformation for the changing world. I think that's what mean to me an Indian man.
Wonderful. Great. If you could rewrite the manhood manual for the next generation, what would be the key amendments or the key points to notice?
I think in a few words, I will say that a man should feel deeper. The man should stand up for other people. As I said earlier, man should have the respect for others and being responsible. So these are the few things men I would like to put into the book which you
In
mentioned.
your, since you're an author as well, so maybe your next book could be about here is what a new man looks like.
Maybe a good idea to talk about it and write about it.
Wow. Now you have inspired many through your books, your inventions, your lectures. What do you want your legacy to be like? What do you want people to remember you as? A man who came from a small place and who reached to global prominence, or a great author, a good student, or a great inventor? What legacy do you want to leave behind?
As we see in the present time, the AI is changing a lot and lot of misuse of AI is happening. One of the real reason is that every new technology can be used for good and bad. So I would like the science to be more human and human to be more scientific. That is what legacy I would like to leave behind.
Wow. That is one way to lead. Wonderful. What advice would you have for today's 18-year-old boys who are stepping into adulthood?
My advice to them that follow your dreams, stay curious, do what is good for the society, and with humble and humility, wherever it is needed, follow that principle and try to make the world a better place.
All the 18-year-olds listening, this is one advice to go by. And all our future Mr. Indias, these are some real words of wisdom. So yes, let's follow them as well. Okay, rapid fire. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
What is harder, raising kids or building a startup?
I think startup. Because
it's a more demanding kid.
Because raising kids, they give you back love. Startup really test your sanity and your complete everything.
Yeah, this is the toughest kid to raise.
Yeah.
One thing AI can never replace?
I think mother's intuition. With what a child needs. I don't think AI can replace that.
Wow. One word that describes your idea of a great man. One word.
One word. Anchored.
One regret.
My regret is that I should have started the Sperm Motile 5 years before. I had the ability and then everything, but I could have helped many more people. So that's my regret.
Now, after having this discussion with you, I'm sure there are many curious minds who want to know more about Sperm Motile. So how can somebody contact you, or how can they reach your website or your clinic? How do we contact you?
Spermmotile.com is the platform where more information about things can be taken. So for a couple, if they're not having a child after 12 months of unprotected sex, then they should talk to fertility clinic. The people who are not married, I think instead of having the Kundli matching, we should have the fertility test done before the marriage, and it's a very small test, and at least once in the life, I think all men should be tested.
Wonderful. So that's a very good information you've given us. The right time to get tested, at least once in a lifetime,
yes,
and also 1 year after trying to conceive.
Yes.
Wonderful. Great. What are the common factors that affect sperm quality? I have heard cigarettes and alcohol, they do impact. Do they, and what else?
Cigarette and alcohol do affect the sperm quality. It impact the DNA integration. Alcohol again do the similar action like varicose vein, like expansion of artery. So that also affect the spermatogenesis, means sperm production process. Apart from that, the pesticides in the food, use of pesticide in the food, and environmental factors and microplastic which are coming into the food, that has been shown to affecting the sperm quality and overall fertility of the human population. And there are chemicals in the perfumes like phthalates, like body spray and other perfumes have a chemical called phthalates that affect the endocrine process, means hormonal balances. Stress is a very big impact, because once stress is there, the cortisol's hormone release in the body, and that greatly affect the sperm development process. So having a good food, having antioxidants in the food with the zinc, magnesium, selenium, omega-3, like nuts, walnuts, and good fishes, dal, and proteins, paneer, eggs. These are the very good for improving the semen health and sperm quality.
I'm really shocked about the perfume thing you mentioned. Perfume impacts your sperm quality
Yes.
in a negative way.
Yeah, so some of the perfumes have a chemical called phthalates, and that can affect the hormonal imbalance. It interrupt the endocrine process. So when your proper amount of hormones are not releasing, and why about only perfumes? We are in the Mr. India event, and lot of men are think like muscle is the Mr. India, and lot of men are doing substance abuse, like they are using steroid to get a bigger muscle. Using steroid to get a bigger muscle affects your testosterone greatly. Your female hormone like estrogen and other levels will go up. Basically, you might be having a bigger muscle, but your real masculinity is going to go down. So these are many factors are there.
Wow. All right. Is performance equivalent to fertility when it comes to a man?
Absolutely no relation. Sperm quality depend on the person reproductive organ. A person can be very, very good in the bed, but that person may not be even have a single sperm in their semen sample, which is very likely the case. So
Really?
it's better to get tested.
Is it possible to not have sperm in your semen?
100%. When the men age beyond 35, the sperm DNA disintegration start happening, and when that happen, even you getting conceived by natural or IVF process, the inborn child can have the disorder, or the female can have a miscarriage because DNA was not proper. It takes 73 to 90 days for a sperm to become mature and to come out. So if you do not have today, improve your lifestyle, get treated, then after 90 days you can have a better quality, and then you can be conceiving, becoming a better parents.
A sperm takes 90 days
73 to 90 days
to generate,
yes,
to mature.
Yes.
Is it physically possible for the sperm to be out without being mature?
Yes.
And that won't be a healthy one?
A normal healthy man typically releases 1.5 ml to 5 ml of semen sample, and a healthy man will have around 3 crore to 6 crores of sperms in there. And it's a very surprisingly stories that all the 3 crore or 6 crore or 30 or 60 million sperms are not all of good quality. It is seen in the microscope that some sperm has 2 head, some have 2 tail, and they are deformed in a shape. So sperm can produce, and without a proper maturity it can get released because it has crossed the time period, and that is where this sperm quality and sperm infertility and other issues come up. Getting a treatment, talking to the andrologist or a fertility clinic is my go-to advice, that if you are not having a child for 12 months after your marriage or trying to conceive, start immediately going to the clinic instead of going to the temple or going to the Babajis.
Being a woman, I feel very enlightened, because as you shared, it affects both men and women. It's a together journey, as you mentioned. I feel quite enlightened, and I believe all the men and women who are listening to you right now, they must also feel quite awakened and enlightened as well. Wonderful. So today, with Professor Dilip Prasad, we talked about many topics which I believe we're not talking about in general, the topics which should be in the limelight, and the taboos around them which have to be removed. So today, with the incredible Professor Dilip Prasad, we, you, I, and our audience, we shared a very illuminating moment, because today, from this very room, we opened a discussion on a topic which has been tabooed for generations. And I believe you sitting here talking about it very openly, you are a pioneer in bringing about a change around the topic and in opening a very healthy discussion. So thank you so much, sir, for doing the part, for being so vulnerable, honest, and courageous, and very inspiring to all of us, to the audience, to our future Mr. Indias, and to the world at large. You're also contributing largely to a very good cause, and you have all of our best wishes. And we thank you with an open heart for being here, for giving us your valuable time, for coming all the way from Norway to talk about it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Naprit, for having a very candid discussion and on a very important topic like male infertility and our reproductive health of our men. Mr. India is a great platform where we are choosing our Mr. India and who represent the Indian men, who is a voice of Indian men. Talking about the reproductive health of men is a very important topic and it affects also the women. So it was a great having a discussion with you, and I hope the audience should start talking about it from here onwards, and more people will speak up and seek solution if they need it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.